ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, April 9th, your drive beginning now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. We're going to open up our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Well, today was the day Kim Caldwell introduced as the new head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. And I listened to a little bit of it. I found it, of course, on brand for Kim. You know, she has that energy, that excitement, and I think she's earnest in what she was saying today. The one thing I took away from it, she did talk about planning on being with Marshall for quite some time, but of course, Tennessee's one of those dream jobs. You have to look at that opportunity if it comes your way. So obviously, she looked at that opportunity and took it. I don't blame her for that whatsoever. Big deal to be the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. There's a lot of history there, a lot of heritage there, a lot of expectation there, a lot of potential there to be a national contender again. So she's up for the challenge, and we wish her well. And, of course, that means Marshall's still looking for a coach. And there are reports and rumors out there that Jenna Burdett's going to be leaving Marshall, and she's going to be on the sideline with Coach Caldwell. I'm not surprised by that if that's true. I'm not surprised by that at all, because there's probably a bigger opportunity for Burdett to stay with Caldwell and work at Tennessee and maybe work her way to a higher level program. Maybe also we just don't know what the pay structure is going to look like. And honestly, you got to take care of yourself first and foremost, and you got to take the path that's going to be best for you. And so, if those notes, rumors, reports are true, and I haven't heard anything definitive from Marshall just yet anyway, but it looks like Marshall will not be elevating Jenna Burdett to the head coaching position. Thus, Christian Spears' comments the other day in his release that the national search has begun. And, of course, we'll find out if a few more names come out anytime soon in those searches, and how attractive will the job be. And, of course, with the portal being what it is, yesterday we talked about losing several players to the portal, including the Hayes sisters, Sydney Scott, Mahogany Matthews, among those leaving the Thundering Herd. And so you're going to have to rebuild the program from, I don't want to say scratch, but you're going to have to rebuild once again, and that's going to be the nature of college basketball for this point forward. You're going to have to probably rebuild on a yearly basis. There's not going to be too many of those programs that can retain. Basically, if you win and your coach stays, you're probably going to retain a lot more players. If you're winning and you're moving forward, and if you're not winning and your coach doesn't stay, you're going to have to look for a new coach, obviously, and new players. So that's the situation for women's basketball. And of course, we will keep an eye on anything that comes up that maybe gives us a hint to where the Thundering Herd is looking for the next head coach of the program. We're going to have an interesting show today. We'll keep it to about 10-15 minutes here coming up, because I want to make a lot of time for you this hour. I want to give you a chance to be a part of the show, and we'll do that at 304-396-TALK. That's our text line, 304-396-8255. I want to talk, of course, about what's happening with the Thundering Herd today. We got baseball tomorrow, by the way. Marshall's taking on WVU if the weather permits, and I'll be over at Jack Cook Field if weather permits. And I'm excited for that because, well, a lot of people thought that this stadium would never get built, and here it is. And now Marshall's playing West Virginia in Huntington properly. And, of course, West Virginia is having an outstanding season so far. So I think the Thundering Herd definitely has its hands full for tomorrow. But coming up tomorrow, either going to be with me at Jack Cook Field, or if weather does not allow, we're going to be back here at the studio. I'm going to speak with the Sunbelt Softball Player of the Week, Bella Gerlach. Congratulations to her, earning an amazing week for her. She was 8 for 12 from plate. She also had 4 home runs, and she had an RBI total of 11. So she's Sunbelt Player of the Week. And this is the first award this year for any player on the Marshall softball team. So she's going to join us tomorrow. We'll talk to her. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we're at Jack Cook Field for this one. And if not, we'll have her on the phone. But I'm excited for that. But coming up here in the next few minutes, and before all of the stuff happened with Coach Caldwell, and I will devote more time to it, I had an opportunity to talk to a few folks from All Elite Wrestling. They're in Charleston tomorrow. National television audience will be watching tomorrow. AEW live from the Charleston Civic Center Coliseum. I believe that's what they're calling it these days. They keep changing the name of that thing. But Kris Statlander is going to join us. She's a former TBS champion, and she has an interesting background. She, at one point, was a stunt woman. So I'm curious what the translation from stunt work to professional wrestling was for her. And working in AEW, she has an opportunity to also do other things. So I'm curious to see what kind of side activities she still is able to do as far as her professional wrestling career and, you know, being a stunt woman. I mean, that's pretty exciting right there. I mean, could you imagine being a stunt man or a stunt woman or a stunt person? I mean, if you're an adrenaline junkie, that's the way to go, right? So we're going to talk to her, and former TBS champion. If you don't know her background, one of the bigger names in AEW at the time was Jade Cargill, and she was undefeated, and Kris Statlander was the first woman to beat her, period, in her career, to beat her and earn her TBS championship. Of course, if you follow AEW Wrestling, you know that Statlander is in a feud right now with Sky Blue and Julia Hart. If you don't watch wrestling, those are two really creepy girls. I'll just say that politely. They're creepy. They really are. So she's going to join us here in the next few minutes. I'm looking forward to that. But then we're going to turn our attention to what's happening for the rest of the week. We got baseball coming up tomorrow. We're going to be live at Jack Cook Field, and we're going to make time for you. And, of course, we got to get into what happened last night. National championship back-to-back for Connecticut, winning the national title. It was a snoozer of a game. It was 75-60, UConn beating Purdue. A little low-scoring game. Cost me second place in the bracket. I was tied second. I finished third because of the tiebreaker, because I was actually expecting UConn and Houston. I thought that would be a higher-scoring game. Instead, it was a low-score game. I had the most picks correct, but with the scoring system, I didn't get the correct picks at the right time. So UConn, back-to-back national champions, first time since Florida did it, and they did it in 2007. Our March Madness coverage was brought to you by Doghouse Beer Garden. I appreciate them for all of their sponsorship this season, and it was an exciting game to listen to right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So when we continue, we're going to turn our attention for a few minutes to Charleston, West Virginia, the capital city, as Kris Statlander from AEW joins us on this edition of The Drive.
Hey there, baseball fans. Are you craving a home run of flavor? Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Whether you're a fan of French dip, fried bologna, Reuben, or Southern fried chicken, the Marshall Cafe has sliders that'll knock it out of the park. Each order comes with a side of fries, rounding out your winning lineup.
Hey, take me out to the ball game.
Slide into Flavortown with sliders from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue, downtown Huntington.
Working Man Store in Huntington. Check out the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Healing Hands, Dickies, Cherokee, and Med Couture at the best price. Working Man Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man Store, open every day at 140 5th Avenue, Huntington.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Looking to sell your vehicle and receive well above current market value? You're in luck, because that's exactly what you'll get during the grand opening of the Glockner Buying Center at all Glockner locations. Glockner's partnership with Kelley Blue Book allows us to offer above current market value for your vehicle in under 15 minutes. No appointment necessary. Even if you choose not to buy from us, we will still buy from you. That's how easy it is to sell us your vehicle.
We make it easy at Glockner.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We'll open up our text line in a few minutes, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. As today was the day, former Marshall women's basketball coach Kim Stevens announced as the new head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. So what's Marshall going to do now? Where does Marshall go next after a championship run, not only the regular season, but the tournament? Big drop-off expected for the Herd. What do you think? We'll open that up in a minute. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. But I want to welcome to the program now, tomorrow night in Charleston. It's going to be AEW Live, Dynamite from 8 to 10 on TBS, and one of these stars of AEW, she's been with the promotion since almost the beginning, is former TBS champion Kris Statlander. And Kris, I hate saying former because they never pinned you for that title change. They didn't pin you. I don't like saying former.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying the whole time. I keep telling everyone Julia stole the title from me. No one seems to have any pity. No one understands what I've been going through this whole time. She hasn't full-on beaten me one-on-one, so I don't know if she's really, in my book, she's not the champion.
I agree with
but
you.
It is what it is.
And
thank you.
I described her earlier as I was setting this up. Her and Sky Blue, they're kind of creepy. They're really weird, creepy girls.
They're not that weird or creepy. They're just annoying and stupid, and I hate them.
Okay, that's fair. I'll go with that. Annoying, stupid, I'll go with that. You have an interesting background before professional wrestling, and I'm sure you've heard this time and time again with people interviewing you, but here we go again. You were, or still are maybe in some capacity, you should do stunt work before you became a professional wrestler.
Yes, that is correct.
What made you to transition from, well, first of all, before even we get into the wrestling story, what was it about stunt work, or how did you find yourself one day performing as a stunt person?
I've just always had been an adrenaline junkie, action junkie. I guess I just have always had such a love for doing obscure and crazy and physical things. And I just was like, what's my dream job? And I was like, I think if I could do stunt doubling, that would be my absolute dream job. So I just looked into how to accomplish that and found a way to train for that, which led to me becoming a wrestler down the line. So it all just kind of worked out really well for me, I'd say.
Was professional wrestling something you had in the back of your mind for years, or did it just transition and work out and you discovered wrestling as you were transitioning into it?
I discovered wrestling as I transitioned into it. I did not watch wrestling growing up. As I was training in stunts and working a little bit in stunts, I was asked to be a valet for some friends, but that was the extent of wrestling that I knew, was just the matches I was ringside for. And in doing that, I was like, I think I could do this. And then I started training to be a wrestler.
Now, it's not easy. You just can't show up one day and say, I want to be a wrestler. And you're the first female graduate of Creative Pro, which is highly regarded as a place where aspiring wrestlers go to train. And you're the pride and joy of Creative Pro because you've had a lot of success ever since graduating from their teaching.
Yes, that is correct. I feel like anyone that has successfully gone through training at Creative Pro is the pride and joy of Creative Pro, because it's always, first of all, just a wonderful, amazing wrestling school to go to learn to become a wrestler. And also just such amazing people involved. Everyone that I trained with, and whenever I go back and I start to teach a little bit, everyone is just like family to each other. There's no bad blood, and we all just really have so much love and support for each other, and it's really just like a second family.
So now you're in AEW, which it's been around for a few years. You were there almost at the beginning, so that makes you sort of one of the OGs. You're still, only 28, so you're still one of the OGs, though, and it feels like AEW has been with us for a long time. What makes AEW special for you? It's a place that you want to show up and work for day to day.
Well, All Elite Wrestling is a place that took a chance on me and saw something in me early on when they were early on also, and we've gotten a chance to kind of all come into our own together, and it's really nice to be one of the people that I wasn't there from the absolute very beginning, but within the very first few months I was hired, and it's just really nice to be able to be a part of that foundation and to see how far the company has come and how far I have come as a performer as well.
And you also have had some adversity, and you keep coming back stronger and stronger. I know you've gone through a couple of injuries, and for a lot of people that would be a really hard setback. But every time you've come back, you've been stronger and better. And most recently, the TBS Champion. I mean, that's a big deal. When you're the champion of a company, you're basically the quarterback of the company, and especially the women's division, which seems to be growing by leaps and bounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like a lot of that was due to, I guess, stubbornness, and I was so mad. Like, of course, everyone is upset and angry when they get injured, especially when your job is to be an athlete. But I feel like I just had some foreign other level of pettiness towards screw this, screw my knees, I'm going to come back better. In spite of my own knees, I had a vengeance against my own body for betraying me at the worst times.
And you've come back stronger, as I mentioned. And I'll be honest with you. I was excited when I get offered the opportunity to talk to you because I've been watching AEW for several years now, and you're one of my favorite performers. And I think the women's division it's definitely grown, and there's a lot more excitement about it. And it seems like you're having fun. Maybe it shows more with you than some of the other performers, but you seem like you're having more fun than most.
I always have fun. I love wrestling, and wrestling has been very good to me in the short amount of time that I've been a part of it. And it's hard to say other people's levels of fun, but I know whenever I get a chance to do anything, I always do my best to have the best time ever because I love it so much. And
I was curious, you have changed your presentation a little bit. You went from our favorite alien to, more than a woman. And was that more of a conscious decision for you? Because I feel like that was a fun persona, but it feels like you've taken the next step and the next step, and you've progressed and grown as a performer, as you've evolved over these last few years.
Yeah, I think It was time for me, and it was my choice to kind of switch up my presentation. Not that I didn't think that what I was doing before was working or wasn't working. I just felt personally I wasn't becoming the performer I wanted to be, and I felt like I needed to switch it up in order to achieve what I wanted. And I still feel like I'm not quite where I want to be yet, but that's the whole beauty of, continuing to grow and change and learn and improve, is that sometimes we just never reach our full potential, and sometimes we just set our goals way further than we should ever.
Kris Statlander is with us, former TBS champion, even though she was never pinned for the title, former TBS champion. Hopefully she'll get that back soon. And she'll be a part of AEW coming up in Charleston tomorrow night, live broadcast from the capital city. And as a performer, do you feel that with AEW it allows you to be more of who you are? It feels, at least watching you and several of the performers, it feels like, okay, this is Kris Statlander. You watch her on TV, that's Kris Statlander. That's not a performance of Kris Statlander. That's actually Kris Statlander out there in the ring.
I wouldn't really have anything to compare it to. I haven't really ever been in a position where I was asked to portray not myself. So I do feel like I get to put my whole heart into everything I do and to be 100% me every time I go out there. But I feel like no matter what I do or where I go or what happens, I will always do that no matter what.
My guest is Kris Statlander from AEW, and of course, if you follow AEW, you know that she has been in a interesting dynamic as of late. How did the pairing with Willow Nightingale come about? Because you two seem like similar but different performers, but it works. It's fun to watch you two out there.
Yeah, she is one of my very good and very longtime friends in wrestling. I've known her from pretty much the start of my career. We are both from Long Island, New York, so there's another major connection between us there. And I feel like it just felt like it was inevitable for the both of us to eventually join forces and become a team, because we are very good friends and we have similar homes. It just felt right.
And that's a little different dynamic for you, because I always thought of you as more of a singles competitor. You, of course, do have a partnership with the best friends, Orange Cassidy, and I know just watching all of you together, not just with television, but all the other internet stuff you do. That you're probably some of the most popular performers right now in AEW, on and off the screen.
Yeah, I would hope so. We do pride ourselves on our friendship being as real as it is on screen. All of us, between me and Willow, and being the best friends. And I do feel like sometimes I excel a little bit more with my singles matches, but I also absolutely love tag teams, and I love tag team wrestling. So it's really nice to be able to get a chance to do something new and be more of a team as opposed to just relying on myself all the time.
Kris Statlander's with us from AEW, and tomorrow night it'll be AEW Dynamite. What are you looking forward to on the card? I know, the big match between Dustin and Samoa Joe is going to be exciting to watch, but what are you most excited for going to Charleston and of course, being a part of West Virginia?
We also have Mariah May and Anna Jay, and we have a Toni Storm celebration, and we all love anytime Toni Storm graces us with her presence. We also have Adam Copeland, the new TNT champion, against Penta. So there's like a lot of really cool stuff that I'm really excited to watch, and I am glad. Unfortunately, I'm not wrestling tomorrow, but I'm glad that I get to watch all the really cool stuff happening, because I don't want to miss any of it.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a fun card. And, of course, there's a nice mix of new names, older names. And, over these last few years, you didn't start out as a professional wrestling fan, or you weren't, into it for the majority of your life coming up to this point. What's been the most fun for you so far? Just, being in the business, learning about wrestling, old matches, new matches. What's been the most fun for you?
Honestly, the most fun is getting to work with my friends and experience life and travel the world with my friends. Because wrestling really does create a bond between people like no other, I believe. And we all go through such tough times and injuries and hardships, and I'll have to come together and pull it together and put on a brave face to go out on screen and entertain people at home. And I feel like if we didn't have such good support system in the locker rooms and in the back, that we wouldn't be able to, put on a good show the way that we are able to.
And that sounds important because, I don't know what your personal schedule is, but it seems like you're on the road a lot, and you're probably with your family at AEW more than you are with your family at home.
Yes.
How important then is it to, for that, just for everybody to get along so well, to put out the best product they can, but at the same time, you're probably looking at Tony Schiavone almost every other day, right? He seems like a great guy, but, he was yesterday when we talked to him. But, I'm sure sometimes you just like, oh, yeah, do I have to look at them again?
I always, getting to travel and come to work is my favorite day of the week. Even though the travel can be tough and hard, there's nothing that brightens my mood more than seeing my wrestling family.
Kris Statlander is with us tomorrow night. It's AEW Dynamite live on TBS. Before we let you go, is this your first run through West Virginia? You've been through West Virginia before?
I've been to West Virginia before. I think last time I was here was when we announced that I had torn my ACL the second time. So I didn't get a chance to perform here or really do much, but who knows? Maybe I will decide to show up tomorrow. You never know.
Yeah,
I'm good this time.
Right? Maybe you inject yourself in a match. Maybe, right?
Yeah. Screw 'em. I'll do what I want.
Right? Is there a particular match you want to insert yourself into? I mean, World Heavyweight Championship? Come on.
I'm kind of scared of a lot of the people going. I don't know if I think I might just. I'll just cheer from the back, maybe.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that you're scared of anyone. I truthfully don't. But, I mean, look, I've never been a stunt performer, so right there, you've got me beat.
Yeah, well, stunts are surprisingly a lot safer than wrestling, so.
That's a good question. I'll end on that. What was that transition for you like, going from performing stunts to performing in the wrestling ring? Was a higher learning curve for you? Is it more difficult? You mentioned safer, obviously, with stunts, but there's a degree to difficulty for both.
Yes, I'd say stunts. Usually, a lot of what can be considered a stunt can be something so simple as just like a trip and fall, but it could also lead to getting hit by a car or jumping or falling off of a very high ledge or building or something. So there's so many different levels to stunts, but it's so overly protected and safe and always filmed. So it's a very, very low risk, you could say, where in a wrestling ring, it is what it is. Things happen, accidents happen, people get hurt. I know that people get hurt, and it's tough, and it's live, and you have to just do what you have to do sometimes. But I do think that my stunt career did help me a lot with learning and becoming a wrestler. So it wasn't a scary or overwhelming transition. It was just very different world of how much more wrestling hurts than stunts do.
My guest has been Kris Statlander, soon to be the TBS champion again, right? It's happening.
I don't know. It's Willow versus Julia, so I'm rooting for Willow right now.
So that's setting up a Willow versus Kris Statlander match eventually, right? Here we go for the championship?
No. It's Willow's time. I'm going to let Willow, if and when Willow wins the title at the pay-per-view coming up, I'm going to let her have the spotlight on her. She deserves it.
Okay, there's another title we could go after, right?
I know.
Okay.
I'm plotting. Don't worry.
Okay. Looking forward to it. Kris, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It's been fun. I hope you have a blast in Charleston and continue to have fun as we watch on TBS and AEW.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
That's Kris Statlander. We're going to get your text in now, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We got more coming up. It's The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
The more vulnerable among us can fall victim to abuse, neglect, and financial exploitation. When navigating your way out, it doesn't have to feel like a maze. Assistance is available from Adult Protective Services. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL HHS and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Hey, Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want, from NCAA basketball, NBA, NHL, and MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Where are we heading?
We're going to Red's today.
Oh no, are they fixing Mom's car?
No.
Did the tow truck pick her up?
Nope.
But you said we were going to Red's.
We're going to Red's Truck Center. At Red's Truck Center, they work on big trucks and RVs and have a big showroom full of parts and accessories. More than 40 product lines in the parts department.
So Red's is more than tow trucks and fixing cars?
Yes, dear. We buy all of our truck parts and RV parts at Red's Truck Center, just off US 35 in Bidwell, Ohio, across from Love's. Stop in and see us.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, John Garton, 304-525-1116. In Barboursville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100. And in Cerrito, Aaron Phillips, 304-453-4600.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, and baked lasagna. Giovanni's has the best sandwiches around, from the stromboli, Italian sub, calzones, and their signature Big Red. All dinners will be served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's Pizza, fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
University of Rio Grande and Rio Grande Community College. Visit at rio.edu. Rio, changing tomorrows. Swisher and Losi Pharmacy, independently owned with free local delivery and drive-through service. 636 East Main Street in Pomeroy, Ohio.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers, not available in all states.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kind of want to know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Open text lines the rest of the way, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Baseball action earlier from the day. Pirates taking on the Tigers. Pittsburgh loses. They were winning. I thought it was a done deal. Gave up 9, top of the ninth. Gave up 4, top of the ninth. That's how it happened. 4 runs, top of the ninth, and Pirates lose. Don't forget, we'll have all the Pirates action every game all season long, or the majority of every game, right here in ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's get those texts going. Again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Of course, last night, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, UConn winning its back-to-back championship. First time it's been done since Florida did it in 2007. It was a 75-60 victory, and it looks like the ratings are in. And the national championship game last night averaged 14.8 million viewers, and that was bested by the women's national championship. The women drew an average of 18.9 million. So for the first time, the women's national championship game, the game between Iowa and South Carolina, I know there's a lot of people tuning in to see Caitlin Clark, and of course South Carolina is just that good. That means the women had more viewers than the men for the first time ever. I don't think that's going to be a negative trend, but I thought the women's game was more interesting. I'm sure there was a lot of tune-out last night with the game between UConn and Purdue. It was just not interesting. Yeah, the score might be not as bad as you think, 75-60, but it was not that fun of a game, to be honest with you. And UConn had Purdue shut down pretty much all of the way. We kind of knew what was going to happen. There was no suspense. There was no intrigue. This game was a done deal, and we knew that Purdue, at a certain point, was not coming back against UConn, and I'm sure there was a lot of tune-out. Okay, I'm done. And for at least East Coast viewers, West Coast viewers, it's not going to impact, but East Coast viewers, the game started late, and I know, look, it's not that late. It started after 9. It's not that late, and I get it. For some people it is. Some it's not, but it's not like you can't call into work and come in late, right? No, I'm sure that had just a little bit to do with it, but at the same time, there were no compelling reasons to stay after a while. Just, if you're watching for the final score is what you're doing. You're just watching for the final score. And the game between Iowa and South Carolina on the women's side was just more captivating. It's kind of a turning point here. There are people who are discovering, hey, look, women's basketball at a high level is pretty good. Pretty good. And so I don't think that's going to be the exception. It might be the norm here depending on the year and depending on the matchup. So last night, though, still a lot of people watched, 14.8 million. Watching Connecticut beat Purdue for a national championship. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line. Paul Swann, your host here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. A couple other things that are happening today. Of course, coming up tomorrow, we're going to be live at Jack Cook Field because it is Marshall versus West Virginia, and we're going to have that game, and it will be at 5:50 p.m. Right after the drive, we'll have the show live at Jack Cook Field, and then we'll have the game coming up right after that. All of it here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. But earlier in today, Bella Gerlach winning Sunbelt Player of the Week in softball. She had a outstanding week, 8 for 12 from the plate. She managed to also add 4 home runs, RBI total of 11, and she's the Sunbelt Player of the Week. She's going to join us tomorrow from Jack Cook Field. If weather permits, we'll be there at the ballpark. If not, she'll be on the program either way, either at the stadium or we'll have her on phone tomorrow, but she's coming on the program tomorrow to talk about it. And then, since we're talking about baseball, Bryce Blevins named Sunbelt Baseball Pitcher of the Week. 3rd time for him. So congratulations to him. A lot of good things are happening, and hopefully that's something that the Thundering Herd can capitalize on, a little bit of momentum, especially against a really good, really tough West Virginia team. Coming into Huntington tomorrow, weather permitting, we'll have it right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And, of course, then, transfer portal. We're trying to keep tabs on all of that. And Dione Hill, you remember him, had some good performances in the Herd secondary. He is entering the transfer portal. So I know spring practice is a big deal for those players that are here, but always an opportunity for a player to change their mind. Some of the players you see today might not be there tomorrow, and, of course, that's what the transfer portal does. It's definitely going to be a challenge for a few teams to try to build back. Now, if you manage the portal well, you can probably keep ahead of it. But right now you don't have a head coach for the Marshall women's basketball team, and you have several players entering themselves in the portal. So you're going to have to probably move quickly as possible, do your due diligence, but move quickly as possible to name a replacement for Kim Caldwell, and then you're going to have to hit that transfer portal hard, probably ground running, and do so with several players that were key components of the championship run in the Sun Belt. I don't know if any more names have come out just yet that are worth real consideration. There have been a few that have come out, and of course, a lot of people were hoping that Jenna Burdett would be among those names. And I understand if she's not, because, again, I was pretty much 50-50 on, okay, she's either going to maybe take a run at the Marshall job if it wasn't already hers, or she's going to probably leave and go with Coach Caldwell to Tennessee. A couple names we've talked about. Lynn Briez came up to me. I don't know if she would take that job. She's pretty established. And an up-and-coming coach would be, I think this is the name that at least has gotten the most traction, at least with the fans, Kari Pickens. Very successful at Division II Ashland University, and they do a fantastic job. Marshall and a few other schools could probably learn a thing or two from the way they run their athletic department. So she might be an option for the Thundering Herd. Do you have a wish list? Are there names that you would like to see the Herd go after on the women's side that maybe are young and upcoming Division II coaches that could make the leap to the Division I level and bring success instantly? Or maybe there's a coach from a program that maybe not as well known, but step up, going to Marshall. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Also, you can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Paul Swann. We'll get your text in when we continue on today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Give the entryway to your home a brand new look with Larson Doors now at Menards. Larson storm doors are perfect to enjoy the fresh spring air. The Lakeview storm door features a screen-away retractable screen that disappears when not in use. It's on sale now through April 14th. Save big money on Larson storm doors and check out more great deals happening now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. If you're a sports fan, we have what you want. From NCAA basketball, NBA, NHL, and MLB. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials we have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check us out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
You know, there's something about a truck you can count on and that SUV that's been on every family vacation for a decade. TikTok Tire and Uniroyal know your truck or family car is only as reliable as the tires underneath it. And that's why Uniroyal made the Laredo AT Tire and HT Tire to be the tires you trust. You know, like you trust your truck, your SUV, or TikTok Tire. Uniroyal Laredo AT and Laredo HT. See where 130 years of value takes you. For more information, stop into TikTok Tire, 2102 3rd Avenue, Huntington, right across from the stadium, or call 304-525-7831.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
In the tapestry of life, we encounter stories of legacy and accomplishment, but sometimes also abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. Adult Protective Services understands the importance of safeguarding the well-being of our loved ones, our neighbors, and our community. To report neglect or abuse, call 800-352-6513. Sponsored by the Administration for Community Living, West Virginia Department of Health and Human Resources, Bureau for Social Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project was supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $383,493, with 75% funded by ACL, HHS, and 25% in the amount of $85,236 funded by state government sources. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Kid sale, kid sale, kid sale. It's a huge kid sale. Attention parents and grandparents. Starting today from 10 to 7, it's the kid sale. Strollers, high chairs, car seats, newborns, juniors, and adult clothing. Don't miss this huge kid sale. Open for 1 week only, today through Saturday. Don't miss this huge kid sale. Open for 1 week only. Kid sale, kid sale, kid sale. It's a huge kid sale. This huge kid sale is located at Charlie Creek Plaza in South Point beside Planet Fitness. Kid sale, kid sale, kid sale. It's a huge kid sale.
As a prospective college student, one way you can save money on higher education is to earn college credit while you're still in high school. You can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by taking dual credit courses, which let you earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Want to learn more about dual credit courses? Visit the website of the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority at kheaa.com. That's kheaa.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Tuesday edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for tuning in. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Again, 304-396-TALK or 304-396-8255. Coming up tomorrow, weather permitting, we'll have baseball action right here. Thundering Herd taking on the Mountaineers. That's coming up. We'll go on the air at 5:50 p.m. tomorrow. That means I get another opportunity to head over to Jack Cook Field. And so I'll join you from the ballpark tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it because, one, the game that a lot of people thought might not happen in Huntington, and now you have a baseball park and you can play West Virginia, and it's going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be more of a big deal for Marshall fans than it will be for West Virginia. There might be some West Virginia fans that go to the game and actually can go to the game now. It's not going to be, sitting at I don't know, just bad situations all around, just all over the place with Marshall baseball. But it's an opportunity for the Thundering Herd and for West Virginia fans to be able to actually watch a proper game in Huntington, and I think that's ultimately what we're looking here for. But coming up tomorrow on the program as well, we're going to be speaking with the softball Sunbelt Player of the Week, Bella Gerlach. So she'll join us on the program tomorrow. Again, she had a tremendous week, 8 for 12. That includes 4 homers, and she also added 11 RBI to her totals, so she's named the Sunbelt Player of the Week, and a congratulations to her because this is the first weekly award for Thundering Herd softball this season, so congratulations to her. I think they're going to get things going real soon, and that's a good sign there. And baseball, I think baseball is going to get some things turned around soon as well. I was optimistic over the weekend, the way they performed. I was optimistic. Not perfect, but I was optimistic. They won the series. That's important. You start winning some series and start putting some of those together, I think you're going to be all right. If you can win your home series and maybe steal a couple on the road, you're going to be fine in this league. But it's going to take some time, obviously. But stepping out of conference play tomorrow, midweek game, it'll be Marshall, West Virginia. Again, a reminder, we'll have that game here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. If you can't go, don't forget, go to our website. You want to download the app. Don't listen on TuneIn. Get it direct. Go to our website, WRVC.com, download our streaming app, and you can listen to the station. It's direct. It's quicker. You can get right to the action. You don't have to listen to all those tune-in commercials they insert in before you can even get to the broadcast. So, tune-in's cool, but get it from us. Get our app. Go to our website, WRVC.com. You'll see the links right there. You can listen to the game on your phone, or you can enable the skill for your Amazon device, and then you can listen to the game on any of your Echoes throughout your house, wherever you've got them. So you've got options. I hope you take advantage of all of them. I want to thank my guest coming on the program earlier today to promote what's happening tomorrow in Charleston. Kris Statlander, former TBS champion. She'll be in the building tomorrow. Should be a fun time for those of you that are heading up to Charleston to watch wrestling broadcast live from Charleston. Be on TBS. It's going to be a pretty big card. I'm excited. I'm going to make sure that I tape it if I'm at the ballpark tomorrow. If we got a game, I'll be there. But make sure I tape it because I want to see Dustin Rhodes possibly win the championship against Samoa Joe. That'll be a big matchup. I think there'll be a lot of people cheering on Dustin tomorrow. Of course, Dustin Rhodes, famously from his years in WCW, and of course his father, the late great Dusty Rhodes. His brother just won the WWE Championship, and Cody Rhodes. Wrestling, as The Rock says, is cool again. Maybe it is. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Retransmitting on Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.